will not pay attention to the people who elected them, who hired them, and who have the right to fire them, then the people of this country will next year remind them who they work for when they no longer get to live. Just since yesterday afternoon on my own website, we asked people to start sending a petition to Senator Nelson to ask him to please reconsider his vote. We already have 25,000 people. Now, I know that the members of the Congress and the President has continued to say that we needed a bipartisan consensus bill. Let me at least congratulate the President on one thing. We do have a consensus bill. Nobody likes it. When you had groups as diverse as the Right to Life and NARAL both agreeing that the bill stinks. Wow. When you have people from the business community as well as from the labor unions who agree that this bill is the wrong direction for America. Now some would say, well, but you know, that just shows that it must be the right thing to do. No, it shows that it is a boneheaded thing to do, and Americans from every part of the political spectrum need to stand up and say that this is historic and unprecedented, but in all the wrong ways. Because it's historic and unprecedented that government would require you to purchase something in order for you to fully exercise your basic rights as a citizen of this country. In the 1960s, we eliminated the poll tax on people, declaring it unconstitutional that people would have to pay in tribute to the government in order for the privilege of voting, which was a guaranteed constitutional right. Now for the constitutional right of breathing in, and I guess if cap and tax passes, we'll also be taxed for breathing out. The simple privilege of inhaling air into our lungs, we will be required of the government to purchase a product in the marketplace. Now just remember that if the government can tell you what you must purchase in the way of insurance, where does it stop? Will they tell you that it is in your best interest? And frankly, it would be to eat only whole grains. That's one thing for you to make that decision. It's another thing for the government to tell you that you have to, and that if you don't, they can fine you or put you in jail for it. And that's exactly what they say that they can do if you do not purchase the insurance. And by the way, it's not just having it, but if you don't have enough, they can fine you. If you have too much, they will tax you. Now think about the utter insanity of this. They're going to require you to have a policy that they have decided meets the parameters of the coverage that they have chosen for you. What happened to liberty in this country where we made our own choices? But it is history we do not need, and it is precedent that we do not want. It is historic and unprecedented. That this is a secret bill that has not been subject to the normal processes of government, which means that the people at least know what is being voted upon. For them to sequester themselves into the chambers of Harry Reid, and then to come out and announce what a wonderful pot of stew that they have concocted for us. It is an outrage and an insult to our intelligence to think that we are incapable of allowing somehow the process to have been opened up so that we could see it and determine for ourselves whether or not the 2,300 pages of porculus that they have put together is something that we find appetizing. And where is the President's promise that all of the discussion on health care, he didn't make it once, but he made it repeatedly, that all of these discussions would be on C-SPAN. Folks, the Secret Service and FBI couldn't have found out what was going on behind those closed doors. Elected members that you sent and you pay their salaries to oversee it were locked out because they weren't of the same political party and did not agree in advance of walking in the door to agree to something that they hadn't seen. Yes, that's historic, and it's unprecedented. It's historic and unprecedented when you make a political decision and you call it purely nothing more than a policy decision, which it is not.